Friends, Cowboy Jobu here with the Jobu Report. Boy, doesn't it feel good to get a win? We've had so few in the last year that I almost forgot how sweet it is on a Monday. Boy, let's check in on Stephen A. Smith. I bet you he's going to be salty. But you know, I've always said that Stephen A. Smith is truly a closet Dallas Cowboy fan. But let's go to the tape and check out First Take Dallas Cowboys.
Dak Prescott led the Cowboys to a major divisional win against the defending NFC East champs on the road, putting points on the board both through the air and on the ground. His rush TD was the first by a Cowboys quarterback in 4 years, and his 75 passes are the most in a player's first 2 games in the NFL without an interception. So we asked you guys earlier in the show, who should Dallas start when Tony Romo is healthy? Wait for it, 62% say Dak. I am shocked with Twitter right now. Ryan Clark, I don't know if you are. I want to start with you. With Tony Romo and be loyal with their guy there, America's team. With the way he's looking, should the Cowboys want Romo back?
No, this is all about.
You're with them.
This is all about Rain Dakota Prescott. I mean, listen, I don't. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't like him. I'm an LSU guy. He's Mississippi State guy. Mississippi State is never supposed to beat LSU. And when they had him, we couldn't do anything with him one night, and I just couldn't believe it watching TV. This is a guy that could throw the football. He could run the football. He was tough. And remember, guys, he was 10-3 and 9-4 at Mississippi State starting the last 2 years. And the only other 2 offensive players drafted were drafted in the 6th round. So it wasn't like he was playing with a wealth of talent against all of these great SEC schools. And if you look at what he was able to do the first 2 weeks, he hasn't turned the ball over. He has command of the offense. The rushing score was a smart, decisive play, and it also showed his toughness. I think Tony Romo was and had been one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but we can't trust him to stay on the field. So for me, why impede Dak Prescott's progression? Why stop him from getting better? Why hurt your team by trying to put Tony Romo back in there when you never know when he's going to be out? They found their quarterback of the future. It's time to continue to ride him and get him ready to be the guy that continues to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course, people want Dak Prescott to keep playing. That's the fickle nature of fans. If it ain't broke, you know, oh, look, he looks good. That's the future. And yes, Tony Romo's health is unreliable. But when he's on the field, I think you still got to use him. Dak is absolutely the real deal. But when Tony Romo is on the field, even when Dallas doesn't have a very good defense, they're really good. 15-4 with Romo, 2-13 without him in the last 2+ seasons. 15-4 with Romo. That's a juggernaut.
Remember what quarterbacks were playing too, though, Mac.
I understand.
Dak Prescott.
Dak is the real deal, but he's still a rookie. He is your quarterback in the future. He's still a rookie. And in this weak NFC East, you can, if Romo comes back, they got a shot to win the division, and then who knows in playoff time. But with a rookie quarterback, I just don't think you're going to go as far. Romo, yes, unreliable, not on the field a lot, but when he's on the field, you got to take advantage. By the way, in 2014, he led the league in QBR and winning percentage, Romo, and game-winning drives with 5.
Here we go.
But listen, when he's on the field, that Dallas team, just think of your perception of the Cowboys for a second. Without Romo, damn, the NFC's weak. NFC East is weak, and the Cowboys aren't very good. With Romo, you're like, well, yeah, they're the class of the division. One player makes you think that. So Dak is the future, absolutely true. But in the present, if you got Romo, you got to play him.
Here's the deal. You can say that, and I get where you're coming from. But Ryan Clark, a real moment, is absolutely right. When you look at Dak Prescott, the fact of the matter is that you have to juxtapose that to Tony Romo. Tony Romo is 36 years of age. He's injured his back on 3 separate occasions. Even when healthy, even when he's effective, the Dallas Cowboys culturally have found a way to lose considerably more than they have won. Now here you are, you've got a young stud who's big, who's got an arm, who's developing as we speak, developing chemistry with the guys, completing 77% of his passes in between the numbers. You look at it from that perspective and think about the upside that exists there. Why disrupt the flow? if the Dallas Cowboys continue to win games, because Tony Romo's going to be out at least 8 weeks, if they continue to win games with this guy quarterbacking the team, why disrupt everything once Tony Romo comes back and put this guy to the side? You don't do that, because if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you've shown you don't have what it takes to overcome something like that. Jason Garrett ain't Bill Belichick. Your offensive coordinator ain't that much better. Jerry Jones and the hype machine that he is. Okay, you might react to that. It would clearly be an emotional decision. And so when you look at it from that perspective, there is no denying that if you are the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott continues to shine, you flow with them. It's a big if. And like I said, the jury is still out. We'll see what he does.
Well,
if what we saw continues, you don't go back to a 36-year-old who continues over recent memory.
You guys are jumping the
to
gun.
get hurt.
But here's the question, Matt.
You guys are jumping the gun.
We have some more weeks to see Dak Prescott. From what we've seen, you said it yourself earlier, in the preseason, the first time he touched the field, they have been singing his praises. That's not me. That's you that said that early. So
he's
all
excellent.
we've seen is good for him. Here's the question you have to ask yourself. If Tony Romo comes back, can the Dallas Cowboys, as constructed, win the Super Bowl? If your answer is yes, with Tony Romo, this is a Super Bowl winning team, then you start him. I don't believe that.
Sounds logic.
And because he's not,
Ryan.
that's why we play Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I get it. That's sound logic, but I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I think with Tony Romo, your entire perception of them changes. And look, here's the bottom line. With more or less the same kind of ineffective defense, like they were one call away from the NFC Championship game with Tony Romo in there. And you guys are jumping the gun on Dak in this sense. Is he the real deal? Yes. Will he have an excellent career if he stays healthy? I believe so. I've seen enough already to say, yeah, that's the real McCoy. But what was the issue last year when Romo got hurt? If only they could have a quarterback that could keep them treading water around 500. Boy, when Romo gets back, they got a chance to win the whole thing. I thought last year they didn't. Wait, they didn't get that. This year, they have a quarterback in Dak who's so good as a rookie. I believe with him, they can tread water. They can be around 500, giving them a shot when Romo gets back to make some noise.
Well, first of all, the 500 record that everybody was aspiring for them to have was because the NFC East was so mediocre. You could afford to do that. You had the Dallas Cowboys that had 3 wins at the time, and they were still in contention to win the division crown because that's how anemic the NFC East was until the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. That's point number one. Point number two, I've come up with a new name, Ryan. I've come up with a new name for Max Kellerman. He is no longer Max. We're going to call him Spock Kellerman. Spot Kellerman is his name because everything is logic. Everything is philosophizing. Let me tell you something right now. If you are the Dallas Cowboys, think about this for a second, Max. Think about this. If you are the Dallas Cowboys, do you realize what Dak Prescott does for them? It gives them an alibi because you've got a young rookie quarterback, and it buys you the understanding of that delusional, pathetic fan base of yours and critics like myself, because by keeping the rookie in there, whatever you don't do, we understand it.
If you
because
make
you're thinking about
decisions
the
as
future.
an organization to satisfy your fans and Stephen A. Smith, then you will continue to be the Dallas Cowboys of recent vintage. But if you make the right football decisions, you can win.
Listen, old Tony Romo, healthy Tony Romo is a quarterback that could have won a Super Bowl with different people around him in a different situation. I felt like he was talented enough, and the numbers say that. He is no longer that guy. And because he is not, it is time. You got to get the emotion aside, the attachment aside. It's time to move on with this young stud that you so smartly drafted in the 4th round.
Did you hear that, Spot?
He's not still the...
Stephen A., we're giving Ryan the last word here.
He's not still the guy. I mean, I don't know. We haven't really seen a very large sample of him in the last,
the best ability is availability.
Year and a half. Right, and if he's available, use him.
Wow. Could it be the worm has turned? Stephen A. Smith is truly a Dallas Cowboy fan undercover? I've always said that.